Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sifiso and I'm not alone. I'm here with my group members, Ntobeko and Diketso. So today we'll be discussing the story More Passion. From your understanding, what is More Passion, or what is the story all about?
The story is all about the couple. It revolves around the theme of love. We come across the couple by the name of Linga and Mapula. They are from different ethnic group. Mapula is from Basotho group, and then while her partner is from Xhosa's group. So they're facing a lot of difficulties in their relationship because of there are people around them. They don't believe that they are supposed to be in a relationship. It revolves around a lot of patriarchal.
I get what you're saying, and yeah, that's a strong point there. I get what you're saying, and I also picked up that since Linga is a Ntobeko or a Xhosa and Mapula is Sotho or Russian rather, their tribes keep on fighting about things that they shouldn't be fighting, and I think they don't acknowledge why they are fighting. I think the fighting between them is caused by the white man, because as you know, when apartheid started, the first thing that they did was to separate each tribe according to the language that they spoke.
Well, I'll honestly beg to differ from Diketso. Why am I saying that? It does not necessarily talks about or evolve around the theme of love, but then it evolves around the theme of violence. Why am I saying that? Because as Langa and what's this Mapula are dating, they are basically from different ethnic groups. You understand?
Yes.
Now that they are from different ethnic groups, they get to hide their love. The reason being there is tribalism on the society, meaning Sotho people are not supposed to marry Xhosa, and that basically it is navigated by the past of apartheid, whereby the groups were divided, whereby Zulu has to live in this area, Sotho has to live in this area, things like that. Yeah. So basically, I think the fundamental theme of the story is forbidden love or rejected love, or should I say?
No. So, as you know that the story covers many themes, right? So I think we should delve on themes step by step. So I think we should start on the race, gender, and marginality that takes place in the story. So, Ntobeko, what's your take on that?
Well, firstly, let me talk specifically about marginality.
Yes.
I feel like it is very crucial as we are shown that how the society often push certain individual to the edge of the society.
Yes.
Then which leads us to the race and ethnicity, whereby even though we black people we are still divided among each other, which basically leads to tribalism. You feel? So we are divided as into ethnic groups, I mean to say. Yeah.
So,
and evidently it is shown in the story whereby the different tribes, not different tribes per se, but then a certain tribe is fighting a certain individual who is Langa, because he is dating Mapula, who is on a different tribe from him. And it speaks more of how apartheid has affected us as black people.
yeah, our brains especially.
Yes. That's my take.
Yeah, I believe that's, to add on what you said, I believe that apartheid really did hurt us, and I believe that, I think it was Steve Biko or what that says the famous quote that in order for a black person to be free, they have to decolonize their mind first. So, as long as the Sotho and the Xhosa people are not yet decolonized on their mind, they will keep on fighting like Linga's family or tribe and Mapula's tribe are fighting right now, which at the end costed Linga's life and Mapula's uncle's life, which is not nice, because as black people we are killing one another instead of fighting the big fight, which is the white man. So What do
Yeah,
you think?
I agree on everything that you have said, guys, but I would like to add on gender. Yes, because in the story, I think the author Ken Temper is using women figure to give us the message about the patriarchal control. Because in the story, I think it is more about the woman who's trying to make her own decisions on who to date, but because of racial oppressions, she's not
Given
having,
the choice.
yeah, she's not given choices to choose who to love, because they're not believing that maybe a Soto person is supposed to date a person from another ethnic group. But I think this is also affected by the apartheid itself, because once it divides people with their ethnic group, like their homelands of Soto people, and it gives us their mind that every ethnic group supposed to do their things that side, and other doing their things in the other side. So I think it is affected more by the apartheid itself.
Yes.
Wait, do you think if the apartheid hasn't occurred, do you think the story would have a different outcome?
Yes, from my own understanding, I think so, because before you saw that the Khoisans were the first people here on South Africa, right? And they lived with everyone around them. Although there were conflicts, but they were able to coexist. But since the people from England, the Dutch people arrived, they started, contradicting the people, causing conflicts between them. So I think without them, there will be unity, and this thing of I'm a Zulu, you're a Xhosa, you're a Sotho wouldn't exist, because everyone will coexist.
Basically, we all will be South Africans.
Yes.
Quite interesting.
Yes. And this thing of provinces and stuff like that, I don't think would exist. I don't think.
Wait. Did Shaka Zulu exist before apartheid or after apartheid?
I think it was before.
It was before. Basically, they were Sutu, because there was Mushweshwe, there were Sutu people, there were Zulus and others, Bedis, Xhosas. Basically, the tribe thing was already there, just that the white people, the colonizers, eventually divided the existence of our tribes, whereby now Zulus has to live on a specific area, which eventually created the hate among each other, among us as different tribes of South Africans, of black South Africans.
Yes, because I think the colonizer, what they will do is they will go to, for example, let's say Yazoo, they will go to you, say something, and then they will go to Diketso, say the other
something,
thing, and then in the end you will think
They
Diketso
contradict.
is better than you, and then
We start contradicting
They
each
start by
other.
colonizing
you
their
start
mind
fighting.
first.
You see, and when you are fighting, they know that they will benefit, because at the end they are going to kill one another, and then they benefit. Yes. And since they had many resources and they were ahead of us in terms of technology and stuff like that, it was easy for them to lure us into their trap.
Did we have any existing technology then in that time?
We didn't, but we knew what we wanted to do. For example, we know that in that tree, it helps with the stomach aches and stuff like that. It's just that it wasn't scientifically proven. But we did know a certain things. See. And so, guys, since we covered the race, gender, and marginality, I think we should delve into our next theme, which is power, identity, and control. So, I think that the Xhosa and the Sotho people know their identity and their pride, and they feel proud of who they are. But on the other hand, they want to gain control over the city where they are staying in and eliminate the competition, which is the other tribe. I don't know about you, but that's what I observed from reading the story. So, what
Well,
do you think?
before I get to lay my opinions about identity in
The story.
the story, don't you think maybe the Sutu people, specifically, I mean to say, Mapulas uncles, are scared to mix with other tribes, because as the generation comes by, the next generation might happen to lose their identity because they've mixed with a different tribe, so they will be struggling with their identity.
Maybe I think that's also the case because I think they have this fear that they will lose their culture. Because as you know, if one marries the other will, for example, Mapula is the woman and Linga is the male. So if Mapula marries Linga, she would have to learn Linga's culture and the culture would rise. So
Now
I think
they will
that's the
they will
fear.
mix their
Yeah.
identity.
Yes, I think you're correct there. I think.
Okay.
Well, now my opinion about the identity in the story more passion is it?
Yes, more passion.
I happen to forget the title all the time. More passion. I feel like I'll specifically talk about the Sutu tribe because they are in large number, unlike the Xhosas. I feel like they are so solid into their identity. They basically know who they are and they just shying away from mixing with the Xhosa identity. So they basically have a solid understanding of who they are. They understand their identity very well. Yes, I think
Yeah, like I would like to also answer the question that you have asked about Angel Alpheus.
yes.
On either he's afraid of losing identity. I think that this thing is caused by how Angel Alpheus and other men around South Africa at that time they were being empowered. I think it is influenced by how the apartheid system is practicing power over them. So they are trying to show their power over people that they can control, maybe their families in communities and other personal relationship, just like the way he was intervening in relationship between the two couple. So I think they are just trying to show their power over people that they can either empower.
Okay. And guys, so what do you think about what Chabo did? Was it right to snitch on Mapula and Lina or what do you think?
I basically think I basically think Thabo was trying to protect the culture, the tribe.
But was it wrong or right in doing that? Because
I think it was right.
No, I think like he was doing it out of excitement. Maybe like he was excited that maybe Mapula found someone, and that's what it was not a snitch. Maybe like maybe like snitching. It was just a say of excitement.
But for me, it feels wrong because now Uncle Afias is dead and Mapula's boyfriend is dead. Maybe even Mapula.
But then
we don't know what
but
happened.
then
Maybe
if
she was arrested.
okay, so sorry to cut you from your speech. But then if Uncle Alpheus and Linga didn't die, you would have said it was right. Right?
No, it's not right. Snitching is never right. Man. It's never right.
I mean,
but I understand your point.
I honestly think it's not snitching. Well, it's snitching, but then I don't think it's wrong because maybe he was trying to protect the identity of their culture and whatsoever. You understand?
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but also on the other hand, I believe that the hate that you teach children grows up with them because Thabo is a young boy, and when you saw Mapula is dating a Ntobeko or a Zulu or a Xhosa, that instincts grow in him. That's how my sister is betraying our culture. So he ran to snitch, knowing very well that his uncle had the power to mobilize a crowd, which in this instance.
I disagree, guys. Like I think in the story, Thabo was more excited about his sister's relationship with another.
Snitching.
No,
But
like,
that's still
he was
snitching.
very excited.
Okay, yes, I understand.
Okay, let's shift to the power. How do you think power is revealed in the story?
I believe that Lena is power, right? But on the other hand, the power that he has it over Mapula only. Because as you know, the male has power over the female. So he doesn't have power in terms of his community. Because as you know, in communities, in order for you to have power, you must be older. And since Lina and Mapula are young, they don't have that much power. But on the other hand, we can see that Uncle Afias and his brother, they were able to mobilize a crowd, which, as they were mobilizing it, he was able to incite, to put on fuel, and by showing Mapula's father that he was hit by the Litebeles, and that anger in the crowd mobilized, and they went there to hit Lina.
I also feel like Alpheus used storytelling to gain control and power over the crowd, as he told them about the injury of Mapula's father, which basically made the crowd to mobilize and be angry in prior to attacking Linga. Yes.
And to cover our third and last theme, which is space and rights to the city. And as we know, that Linga doesn't stay in the city but takes a train every time he goes to the city. And we learn that he's a high-end university dropout and had to drop out because of circumstances. And on the other hand, Mapula works at the hospital. So how do you think the space is covered in this story?
After reading the story, more especially in the first part, which is very significant, you get to should I say imagine how people lived during the apartheid. As you see, I hear something like police, the police, then overcrowded trains, train station, dangerous streets and whatsoever. Now you get to understand that people lived in a dangerous place and were oppressed by the apartheid law.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that.
Yes, I also picked that up because at the beginning of the story we saw that in the trains it was not safe because it was overcrowded and everyone wanted to go to the city. I don't know whether there was one train per day or in the morning or what, but everyone wanted to board the train, and that's in the packets you were even scared to put even your cell phone because you never knew. People had different jobs. Some even resorted to pickpocketing because there were no jobs. You see, stuff like that. But yes, I think there were lots of wrongs that were happening in the past that I think right now are being corrected, but slowly but surely. And as you know, guys, ungapheli kuyahlola, which simply means everything comes to an end. So, in conclusion, I believe that in all that happened, Mapula was not wrong in killing his uncle, but on the other side was wrong for taking matters into her own hands, right? And in terms of love, we saw that people do different things for love, and yes.
Well, before we close the the episode, have you ever maybe sat for a second and reflected on what if the power was given to women rather than men in our country?
Yes.
So, well, I think it would have played in both sides. Firstly, let me talk about the advantages. You mean, if you can observe closely, families are well standing when women are in control of the household, which is an advantage. Just imagine now all women gathering together, having to improve the country as a whole.
I think let Diketso decide because she's a woman.
Well, before I give the opportunity, let me flip the coin and talk about the other side of the coin, the disadvantages. I feel like the country would have been kind of stagnant. Why am I saying that? Is that sometimes women, it is not scientifically proven. It's just what I've been observing through the acts of women and how they perceive things. I feel like at some point their decisions are navigated by emotions,
Yeah.
which is a very big fault as a person.
Yes.
Am I right or am I right?
You're right. Like I think we're supposed to be given chance as women to lead and to be charged, to have power. And maybe I think most of things will turn around.
Okay. Let me ask you this question: do you take decision based on facts, or sometimes you take decision based on how you feel?
I take decisions based on how I feel.
Thank you very much.